How's it going, you beautiful people, future millionaires, millionaires? My name's Andrew, and this channel is about entrepreneurship, personal finance, and the psychology of money. Welcome back. So, emergency funds. What are they? What are they for? Well, emergencies. Say you break your arm, or your house catches on fire. This house is not on fire, just an example. What are you going to do? You know, do you have savings for that? Do you take out a line of credit from a bank? Do you rob a bank? Do you ask your friends? Do you ask your family? What do you do if you don't have money saved up? Well, we're going to talk about it today. Got to save money. That's what it comes down to, is you have to be able to save money each month and put it into your emergency fund. That could be $5, that could be $10, that could be birthday money, it could be Christmas money. You can get a side job and mow some lawns or help someone out on TaskRabbit. You can do anything, but you need to get that money saved up and in an account that's liquid, meaning a checking account, a savings account, something in a bank, something where if you need that money quickly, you can access it. This isn't something you want tied up in real estate or bonds or stocks or Robinhood options. Please don't put your savings account or your emergency fund into Robinhood options. It's just, you're gonna have a bad time. But you need this. The psychology behind never having enough, behind, this being how much cash I have in hand and it not being very much, is terrifying. It makes you nervous. It makes you scared. It makes you fearful. It makes you make decisions that you normally wouldn't make if you had, $5,000, $10,000 in the bank. And you're limiting yourself. You're hamstringing yourself by not doing that. There's people that have had this since birth, golden spoon in their mouth, but that's probably not you. That's definitely not me. So you know what? How are we going to do it on our own? How are we going to rise up? I don't really feel like staying in the lower class, middle class, whatever for the rest of my life. I have no aspirations that you're better if you're up here, you're worse if you're down here, but being up here is nice because you don't stress as much about money as you do down here. All right, so emergency fund, you need to save for it, you need to reduce your expenses, it needs to be liquid, and if you ever use it for any kind of emergency, you need to start saving and put the money back where you got it. You're gonna have something come up while you're doing this. Either your car's gonna have an issue or you're gonna have an unexpected medical bill, anything. And you need to put money back if you ever bring any money out or spend it on anything, because it's really easy to end up spending that emergency account on small little day-to-day things and forget about why I first started saving for this. And I don't want you to have that kind of stress and anxiety and worry over, I'm not gonna be able to make this bill. I'm not gonna be able to cover this. I'm gonna have to go to, take an advance on my paycheck and pay back even more. I'm gonna have to get my third credit card to pay off my other two credit cards. It's a rat race, They get the phrase, it's a rat race. You're on a wheel running around and around and around, and every time something bad happens, there's someone there to take advantage of you. And the schools have not done a great job of, having any kind of financial literacy programs for anyone. Most likely parents haven't. Mine didn't always have the best financial education. They made a fair amount of money, but for the most part, credit cards and paycheck to paycheck. And, they had kids to take care of, and I respect them and I love them very much, but I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna be someone on that wheel that is being taken advantage of. And the first step to that is education. Educating yourself that there's people there who will help you out of that tough situation. And they probably don't think they're the bad guys. They probably don't feel like they're the bad guys. But it keeps you on that wheel where you don't have control. Someone else is controlling your life when things go wrong. And I'm not a fan of that. And I don't think you're a fan of that. So you need to get that emergency account set up. It needs to be liquid. It needs to be accessible quickly. That means a checking, a savings account. You could do it cash, but I wouldn't encourage that. You can lose cash if you move, if something gets broken into, or there's a fire. And at least for me, if I have cash, I'm more inclined to spend it. It's there, it's in my hand, and I know I can go buy things that I want. So I would say a checking account or a savings account is probably your best bet. People usually recommend 3 to 6 months expenses. So you have expenses including, rent, utilities, phone, whatever, stuff like that, $1,000 a month. Then you're gonna want at least $6,000 conservatively saved up, ready for your account. I would recommend more. I'm much more of a fan of like 9 to 12 months. 12 months being something you work towards. Obviously, you can't just be like, well, I'm going to save 12 months of my expenses in 1 month. That's not realistic for anybody. But you can gradually save and save and save and save and save and get up to that point. And that's the goal, is getting to a point where if you have problems with work and need a different job, if you have significant medical or life issues that come up, you are able to live for a year without having to take out a personal loan, take out a home equity line of credit, do something where you're going to be paying a huge amount of interest or huge fees. That's what you want to avoid. And you do that by having cash in hand in your bank account that lets you be in control of your life in that way. And they don't teach that in school. They don't teach that in middle school. They don't teach that in high school. Parents don't teach that. Unless you're a small community online or you're born into the upper class, there's no education on this. It's not something that's taught, You're taught how to buy the new $1,500 iPhone. You're taught how to download new games on your Xbox for $50, $60 a pop. You're taught how to take out a credit card at Macy's, Home Depot, Lowe's, TJ Maxx, any other store you can think of. Yeah, there's a credit card for that. Why? Because it makes the businesses money. Because you spend money there, because you get a card there, you save, on the initial purchase, and they make money off you off interest. I don't think that's for you. If you're here watching these videos, subscribing to this channel, then that's not for you. You want a different life. You want a better life for yourself, for your family, for your kids, and you want to help the people around you. That's why I started this channel, because I was in a place where I was scared of being homeless. I could have moved back in with my parents, but arguably I might have rather stayed in my car. I love them, but being 23 and moving back in after getting your 4-year degree is humbling. And I wanted to avoid that, No shame on anyone that chose to do that. I wouldn't advocate living in your car in Washington. It's freezing. But, I didn't have that many options. So I wanted to help people. I want to spread financial literacy to the people who are most in need. People that were like me at some point. Or they just want to, better their lives. They have a good job, they have a house, but they still feel like they're not making it, that they're dependent on something. They're dependent on their job. They're dependent on that one source of income. So the first step to, your path to financial freedom, if that's what you want, if that's what you're here for, or just having more stability and being able to cover your expenses if they come up when you're not prepared for them, is to get an emergency fund, okay? Save money, reduce your debt, pay things off, potentially increase your income, and get 3 to 6 months, preferably 9 to 12, saved in the bank. Until you have that, you will be behooving to someone else when you need money. Hopefully you have friends or family or really good credit that can help you out in those places, but most people can't cover a $400 or $500 expense. All people that have houses, that have 2 houses, that have jobs making far more than I do, or you do potentially, but if they can't cover that, if they can't go say, yeah, my car the engine blew and I need $2,000 to get a new engine, or I need to go finance a new car like that, or I can't get to work. You're going to have power over that situation. You're going to be in control of the situation when those people are freaking out and scared because they're not able to get to work, or they're not able to get approved for another loan because their credit's shot for whatever reason. So save an emergency fund. If any of this has been helpful for you or helpful to you, and you're interested in learning more about financial independence, entrepreneurship, money, how we spend money, psychology of money, consider liking and subscribing to the channel. I'm going to keep doing uploads here on personal finance and kind of my journey from where I'm at now, which is, I have a job, I have a 4-year degree, I don't have a crazy amount of money saved up, I don't have houses or anything like that, but I'm able to cover paycheck to paycheck expenses, and if an emergency came up, I could do that. But this is 20 years in the making. No one taught me this. No one sat me down and said, hey, I want to help you have a less stressful, more relaxing life. And the way you do that is to save money and have your money make you money. So if you want to come on this journey with me, subscribe, and look forward to seeing you guys next time.